Hello, welcome. I just got called to speak into St. Patrick's Day and the meaning behind it. And yeah, just what's wanting to come through is a little change. Could be needed. Connecting to my higher self. Connecting to Mother Earth's crystalline grid and connecting to God Source. Yes. There's a message wanting to come through from the Divine Mothers in regard to St. Patrick's Day. And St. Patrick is a man that a lot of people don't know the actual meaning of him, and they don't know the meaning of what he actually did. And there's a lot of stories around St. Patrick. The most prominent one is St. Patrick rid Ireland of the snakes. And in actual fact, Ireland never did have snakes. As an island, it never had snakes. It wasn't conducive to snakes. And secondly, there was never any archaeological remains of snakes in Ireland. So there's a metaphor for it, if you like. So it's an analogy for the divine feminine. So snakes were represented by the divine feminine. And St. Patrick was enlisted by the Roman army to go over to Ireland and actually rid Ireland of the divine feminine. So this was the this is the very early Christians, Druids. They were practicing the divine feminine principles, very much similar to what Jesus and Mary Magdalene were practicing as well. So needless to say, Jesus was sacrificed for it, and so too were the Druids. So I'm just going to honor them today, and I'll honor them on the day we call St. Patrick's Day. However, I am putting it out to the universe that this day be changed. This day of celebration for Irish people, I propose that it is changed to the name Irish Day or Ireland Day, just any other day other than the day of a celebration of a murderer. I don't want to have anything to do with St. Patrick and what he did to the Druids. So yes, I propose that we change the name to Irish Day, and basically any name other than St. Patrick. I think it is very remiss of us and gaslighting us to actually honor a man that mass murdered a whole culture of people, a whole mass of people. There was a lot of Druids in Ireland, and they were practicing the divine feminine practices, the Enlightenment. They were working with nature, they were working with source consciousness, they were working with astrology, and the Romans didn't like the Roman army at the time. So I'm going to make it very specific. The Roman army at the time did not like this, and they called in St. Patrick. He wasn't even Irish. He's not an Irish man. So we've been told a story, and then we've been celebrating this man as a result. So I do feel, if you're seeing this transmission, please look into it further before you do celebrate this man. Tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. It's the 17th of March. Every year we celebrate. It is a celebration, and it's a national day in Ireland, so it's a bank holiday, as they say. They take the day off, so they actually celebrate it. So what's happening is we're actually putting energy into a man that murdered a whole culture of people, and people that were our ancestors, and our ancestors that were doing some really good for Mother Earth. And this is a big part of us. This is a big part of our ancestry. So for us to celebrate this man is actually a big gaslight, if you like, and it's very traumatic. There's an aspect of ourselves that would be wounded inside celebrating this. On a human level, we've never really realized we went along with it. It was just one of those things, another celebration of a day that we thought was, Ireland. However, even if you look into the meaning of him and his murdering or ridding Ireland of the snakes, if it was taken literally, ridding a country of snakes of their ecosystem, that in itself is bad enough in my mind. So however, there's a big deeper meaning in terms of the snakes and what they represent, and it is the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is rising, and she's had enough. And she's had enough of the gaslight, and she's had enough of the annihilation of her beautiful ways and of her people that are actually practicing love and light and nurturing through nature. She won't stand for it anymore. Enough is enough is enough. And that is the call now, to stand up and rise against the patriarchy that annihilated our beautiful divine feminine ancestors, that all they were doing was practicing beautiful rituals, if you like, and rituals has a trigger to it, okay? But they were practicing with nature. They were doing very similar work to Jesus in terms of the Christ consciousness and anchoring love into the earth. That was what they were doing. There was nothing wrong with that. But the Roman army, the legions of Romans at the time, did not like that. And so they sent St. Patrick into Ireland to annihilate the Druids and anyone that was practicing the divine feminine practices, such as enlightenment, connecting to your chakras, connecting your body to Mother Earth, connecting to the stars in the sky, connecting to crystals, all the things. And hence, that's where the Roman Catholic Church did the same. And they wiped out the story of Mary Magdalene and Jesus. They wiped out the story of the divine feminines and the true meaning behind spirituality and connecting to our source, our actual source. Not a false god, not a false prophet, but an actual source, our source God of creation. So the divine mothers have said, enough is enough. And we are rising. We are rising, and together we rise very strongly. So feel into your heart if this message resonates. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for doing the work that you do. If this message doesn't resonate and it triggers, just feel into that too, because there is a reason for it, why it's triggering. There's an aspect of you that needs to look at what is actually happening on St. Patrick's Day. Look at the name, look at the man behind the name, look at what he did. And what he did was a mass murdering of a beautiful people. And I will not celebrate that tomorrow or any day. I will celebrate Ireland tomorrow, but I will not be celebrating St. Patrick. So I propose a name change. Thank you for listening. Wishing you lots of love and all the very best. Whatever you do tomorrow, just please be mindful about where you put your energy and who you are celebrating. If you're celebrating tomorrow, celebrate Ireland. Don't mention his name. His name's got to go. And this is a message from the Divine Feminines. They're coming in strong and they're channeled through me. So I thank you again for being here. We love you.